have been riding this bike as much as I can because I don't know if you remember or not, from at least January 21st, I told you guys about a trip that we were planning on doing. Which was going to be, you know, fixed gears in Cape Breton, and we were going to ride across the Cabot Trail with, you know, bikes that would be really difficult to do that with. And just to jog your memory, we went and did a bit of a recon on what we could maybe do with fixed gears, and I ended up like this.
Broke my collarbone.
Turns out we're still doing this trip. And to be totally honest with you, I'm scared. Now, it's not the route or the ride or even the challenge of the fact that we're going to climb a lot of mountains and ride a high amount of kilometers that has me worried. In fact, we've done this ride before a couple of times. I made a video of it. It's not a good video because I didn't really know what I was doing, but we've done this twice now. So I already kind of know what to expect when it comes to the route. But this time we're actually doing it on fixed gears. And that again, I just want to reiterate, that's not what I'm worried about. A hard gear is not what I'm worried about. Like, spoiler alert, I know I'm going to be walking up some of these climbs. I know what's there. I know how difficult the idea of what we're looking to do is. What I am worried about is having another one of those stupid moments that I had back on January 21st, that if you remember,
no need for surgery. Instead, they piled me full of different things that made me feel like I was going to puke and put the bone back to where it was supposed to be.
And hence, that's the reason why I'm forcing myself to ride my fixed gear everywhere until that comes up. Now, I'll ride mountain bikes, that's slightly different, but anytime I'm on the road from this point forward, I'm riding that thing. Because I really, really don't want to have myself laying on the side of the road about 5 hours away from the city with another broken collarbone or any sort of broken bones. Because I know for a fact that in the summer, I'm going to be wearing less stuff than I was in the winter, and I'm getting cut up if I crash. So I need to get into that mindset where it's like, you don't get to coast. You don't get to coast. Don't be an idiot, Eric. You don't get to coast. And I don't think that's something that I can learn a day before we start. I definitely need to get back into the rut or the groove, whatever you want to call it, of riding a fixed gear and not making dumb mistakes. Because when it comes to the roads of Cape Breton, especially the Cabot Trail, dumb mistakes can sort of become a little bit catastrophic. Most interestingly, and probably the weirdest thing going on, is in the past few years we've been trying to get people to like come on this trip with us, and we've only ever had like one extra person who doesn't ride with us very often show up. And now we make the trip about like 300 times harder by riding these things on easily the most difficult roads in all of Nova Scotia, and like 16 people are coming. I don't get it. Like, there's like this weird breaking point where it's like, can't get anyone, lots of people want to come. Or should that graph look more like this? Either way, super, super weird that a lot of people want to come ride really difficult bikes on really difficult roads and just like test themselves more than like riding big tire road bikes off-road. Like, boggles my mind. All right, it's the end of the day, and it is pouring out. So I'm not really super interested in actually riding a bike home because pretty bad for not running fenders. I'm made of sugar, so I'll melt, and I just don't feel like getting wet. But based on the fact that you now know a little bit more about what we're going to be doing in Cape Breton, I want to sort of talk about what I should probably do to this thing to make it a little bit better in the way of trying to ride it on a long road ride with big, big climbs. And probably these gear ratios that I have, actually that's a terrible side to do. Like this gear ratio is going to be pretty heavy for the climbs in the Cabot Trail. Anyway, so obviously I'm taking that bike because it's the fixed gear. I'm not quite sure yet what I want to do for gearing. You know, I don't do the whole like gearing, gear ratio, gear inches thing very often. It's not something I've nerded out on very much. But right now I've got a 46 tooth chainring with a 15 tooth cog on there now. There's a 16 on the other side. If I had it my way, I would have two really huge differences so that the flats I could actually ride without having to spin my legs out like mad. And then go ahead and have some sort of easy climbing gear. Easy being in quotations there because nothing about this is going to be easy. You know, if I could do something like a 15 and a 19 with those dropouts, maybe I'd be able to get that to fit with enough chains so I don't have to do anything sort of weird other than take the wheel out and flop it around. And that's the beauty of having these flip-flop hubs. If I had really, really nice fixed gear stuff, maybe I wouldn't want it to do that because I'd actually be racing it on a track. That's not what that bike is. That bike is, well, it's an old fixed gear freestyle frame, but everything built around it is for city and road riding. Real quick before I leave, I've been working on this today. This is like an old vintage bike that one of the owners brought in. He wanted me to like try and restore it a little bit. It was an old single speed coaster brake bike. I'm building this wheel and that front. Actually, I say building, but I already built them. Currently tensioning these wheels. I'm upgrading it to a 3-speed internal coaster brake. So it'll be a little easier for whoever it is that's going to be riding it. So they have a little more range of gears, and essentially it'll be sort of the same bike, but you know, in the car world, it'd be called like a resto mod. I guess that's kind of what's happening here. I'm gonna finish building it, and we'll make sure it works. And then I'll take it apart, and everything will kind of get refinished on it. Hopefully, I don't know. I'm kind of putting a lot of work into it for it to like not get done. I'd be a little upset if I built that stuff for it to not come to fruition. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here because I don't know, got better things to do at home.